Yep, so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to find our character. Yo, welcome back. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to pick up a weapon. We're going to go to our inventory. We're going to add in these slots for our character so that he has equipment. And then we're going to add equipment to him. You can see he's got a image and a preview where he's holding a sword. And now we can move it between the two. It will finish off our equipment system. And then we can move on to giving our player some attacks as well. If you want access to the project files, then become a member and you get access to the project files and all the series early. The whole series is complete now, so if you wanted to watch through the whole series, you can do. For everyone else, those episodes come out once every 3 days. So subscribe, like, comment to stay in touch, and we will get to the end of this Souls-like series. So without further ado, here we are with the video. So we're going to go to our widgets and we're going to duplicate the inventory slot, and this will be WBP equipment slot. And then we're going to open that up, go to graph, and we're going to delete some stuff. So everything up to this break S full item details can be deleted, and then on the click can be deleted as well. And then yeah, we can delete all the others item index. Okay, so what we're going to need here is we've still got the player inventory. So we're still going to set that, and then we're going to get player character, get component by class, and we want to get the inventory. Connect that up to player inventory. Duplicate these two nodes, so Control D, and get the equipment. Promote that to a variable. So be the equipment. Then we're going to come to our components, open up BPC equipment, and we're going to go to event dispatches and make a new one. Press F2. This will be on equipment updated, and we're going to call that just here. So on set mesh, we're going to call that, and then we're going to right click and create a new custom event, and this will be remove item, and then we're going to get set mesh. So right click set mesh and pass in the new param, and then we're going to get equipped items and call remove and pass in the new param to the bottom of remove. Compile and save that. The other place that we're going to do on equipment updated is when we update our chest, our arms, and our legs. So we're going to call that there as well. Then we're going to go back to equipment slot, get this equipment and bind to on equipment updated, and we're going to create event. We can drop this down to create a matching event and call this update equipment slots. Okay, so we're going to drag this over to the load of the textures that we had and save it, but we don't have any item details, so we need to get those. So from S full item details, we're going to do a find, and then we're going to get equipment and do equipped items, pass that in there, and then this none is going to get promoted to a variable. This will be item type, and this needs to be instance editable and expose on spawn. We also want to make sure we find the object, so we're going to go and make a branch, put the true into the other branch, and the false goes into the set brush resource. Compile all that. And then after this bind, we're going to call this update equipment slots. So update equipment slots, and then we're going to get our base slot and click on clicked base slot. And again, we're going to get equipment, get equipped items, and do a find, pass in the item type, and get a branch. And then we can get the player inventory and add to inventory, and we can get the find item here. Then we can get equipment and do remove item. We can pass in the item type to remove, and we can compile and save that. And now what we need to do is right click and get a pre-construct, and we can get the base slot to set icon. And then this texture we can promote to a variable, which will be the icon image, and we need to promote that to an instance editable and expose on spawn. And then where we're calling this default image on the update equipment slots, we're going to get this icon image, place it there instead. Compile and save that, and then go to our WP equipment and inventory. We'll get the equipment slot, and we can select it and scroll down to the defaults, and we can say main hand, and then main hand is image 4. So there's our icon. Compile, save that. And now if we come out into the world, press 5 to get to our inventory. We can equip our icon there, but when we click to put it back, it stays like that, which is not what we want really. So what we can do, it's a super simple fix. So where we are calling remove item, we have it set in our static mesh, and then it calls this onEquip update, but it doesn't remove it. So when it's calling onEquip update again, it's running through and finding it because we've not removed anything. So we're going to put remove first. We remove it first, and then we set the mesh, and that should be the fix. Just an ordering thing. There we go, and that'll work. So now we'll add in all these extra weapon slots that we've done. I've just had to come back and edit the video because it was quite a big fix to get around that, and it's actually quite a quick fix, so apologies. Let's add the rest of the weapons now that we've got that sorted. So we've got our main hand on the right. We can duplicate that and have our offhand. We scroll down, find the defaults, and this can be our offhand, and that can be image 5, and then we can duplicate that again. We can have head, that can be image 8, duplicate that again. We can have chest as image 9, then one more. You can have arms, so you'd have like gloves, and then legs or feet, like so. And if we select all of these, and then we can increase their size if we want to, 200 by 200 maybe. You can have a play with how big you want those in your game, and then we can see what that looks like. Right, now let's set up our character preview. So we're going to create a new folder inside our Souls-like folder, and this will be for UI assets. This will be preview folder, and we're going to open that, and then we're going to make a material. This will be RT preview, so material render target preview, and then I'm going to right click again and make a render target, and this will be RT equipment preview. I'm going to open up RT equipment preview, and I'm going to make this 1024 by 1024, and then everything else will stay the same, so we'll save that. That's fine. I'm going to open up MRT preview, and I'm going to select MRT preview, come to material donate, make it a user interface, and make it translucent. Right, I'm going to right click and get a texture sample, and then I'm going to connect the RGB to the final color, and the alpha I'm going to get a 1 minus node and connect that to the opacity. I'm going to select this texture sample and scroll down, and the texture will be RT equipment preview, and then I'm going to save that. We're going to come out of here, and we're going to go to content, Souls-like components, equipment, and then on begin play, after we set our main hand, I'm going to right click and get the owner of our component, and then we are going to add component by class, and this will be a scene capture component 2D. Then we're going to attach component to component, and from this get owner we're going to get component by class. We want the skeletal mesh component, and that's the parent. I'm going to attach that to the root location. We're going to snap, snap, and snap, and then from this add scene camera we're going to set relative transform, transform not location, and right click to split the new transform location, and then we want 180 on the Y, 90 on the Z, and 180 on the X, 180 on the Y, and 90 on the Z. And then from add scene capture we're going to set texture target, drop that down to RT equipment preview, and then we're going to right click and get owner again, and then we're going to set show. From this return value we're going to do show only actor components, connect the in actor to the in actor, so connect get owner to our in actor and tick include from child. Compile, save that. Now we're going to go back to our UI, so widgets, inventory, inventory, and inventory. I'm going to add an image, drag it over here, and I'm going to put that at -1, and then the brush will be our material, so MRT, that's what we call it. So we find it again, widget, Souls-like, UI assets, inventory, UI assets, preview, MRT preview, put that in there, compile and save that, and then when I press, we'll see our character in here live. Okay, So what are we doing? So this material is taking this render target, and this render target is being set from this component that we're adding. So we're adding this seam catcher component. We're attaching it to the skeleton. We're setting its location. We're setting the render target that we're going to send that data to. And then we're telling it to show only the actor component. So don't show any of the background stuff. We're doing it like this so that I don't have to attach it to the character. So it's way more modular. So now when we attach a weapon, do play from here, press 5, attach this weapon. You can see the sword has attached to our character straight away. When we unequip, it just gives that nice feature ready to go.